Okay, this is A.REI.12 Algebra, Reasoning with Equations and Inequalities 12, Video 1, Solving Systems of Linear Inequalities. Here are a few terms to know. I'd like you to copy them down in your journals and define them, please. All right, so up to this point, we have talked about inequalities, we've talked about equations, we've talked about systems of equations on the same grid, finding a solution of two linear equations. And today, what we want to do is we want to take two or more inequalities and try to find all of the solutions that would work for those two inequality expressions. Okay. We have four ordered pairs here. And basically what I did was I took four ordered pairs to see if any of them are solutions to the system. And a solution would be any shaded region on the graph here, any of the shaded regions, and any part of the line that is the solid line. So if you're on the solid line, you are going to be an answer or a solution to both inequalities. If you are on the dotted line, you will not work as a solution to both of these inequalities. And it kind of goes along with that same idea when we were graphing our answers to single inequalities. It equates to your open circle or your shaded in or closed circle on the line. Maybe that isn't making sense unless I drew it. So we have our number line, and we said, okay, if I have a 2 here, that means an open circle on 2 would not include 2 as an answer, but if it was shaded in, it would be included in the answer. So same idea here. The shaded in line would work and the dotted line would not work, and then any of this yellow darkened portion would be answers to your system. So let's take each of these. I already know that there's going to be some lag here today, so bear with me. Whenever I do these screens with the highlighter, I'm going to get some lag. So I probably won't do too much more erasing. All right, check the point 1, 1. All right, so if we come over to the graph, we go to the point 1, 1, which is right here. And that is not in any part of my shaded region or on my solid line. So 1, 1 is not a solution, no. Let's check out 1, 2. Okay, so we go 1 and then 2. We are right on that darkened line. So yes, this is a solution. 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is right here, but it's on the dotted line, so that is not a solution. And then 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It is in the shaded region, so that is a yes. All right, so that's just understanding who are the solutions and who are not the solutions. Now, let's get into actually graphing one of these. All right, before we graph, we need to come up with all of the ordered pairs that would create the lines. All right, so if I'm looking at the first one, it says x is less than 8. We're going to treat the inequality symbol as an equal sign for now. So if I were to create this as an equation, I have my inputs and my outputs. And what do I know? X is always going to be equal to 8. So there are all of my 8s. And then if those are my inputs, my outputs, we've already discussed, you can make those up. So I don't know, maybe we go to -2, -1, 0, and 1. And let's go graph that. So if x is less than 8, I have all of those ordered pairs. 8, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, and then 8, -1, 8, let's see, 8, -1 would be right here, 8, 0, and then 8, 1. So we have a vertical line that runs through the 8 on the x-axis. So I'm going to just take that dotted line, okay, let's go here, get out. So we have our x is less than 8 line. Oh, here comes the eraser. Come on, let's work. All right, now if I were to do any of the shading, I believe it said x is less than 8. Less than is very key here. On my grid, I'm going to be shading either to the left or to the right of my particular line. Well, if you think about less than, all of the numbers as you go to the left on a number line would be your numbers less. All right, so I'm just going to draw in some arrows here to remind us that when we do our shading, we are going less than. And a reminder, it is a dotted line because the symbol says less than but not equal to, kind of like the open circle that we used to work with. All right, now the second one we have to put into graphing form, and let me do that real quick for you here. So we have -4y is less than or equal to -x minus 8. Divide both sides by -4. We have to flip our symbol. If you divide inequalities, if you divide in the last step by a coefficient that is negative, or multiply in the last step by a coefficient that's negative, we have to flip that symbol. All rules of inequalities still apply. So dividing each term by -4 will get me y is greater than or equal to positive 1/4 x plus, a negative divided by negative is a positive, 8 divided by 4 is 2. All right, so now we can create a function table if you would like, but the other method I taught you is to just use your y-intercept and your slope to create your line. So let's do that, 1/4 x plus 2. So I can go to 2, 1, 2, that's my starting point, and do my slope of 1/4. Rise 1, run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rise 1, run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rise 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to be over here. All right, now is that a solid line or is that going to be a dotted line? All right, that is going to be a solid line. So it is going to run all the way through the grid. And now it says, is it going to be shaded above the line? Above means greater than, and below the line means less than. All right, so let's go back. It says y is greater than or equal to, so that's going to be above the line. So if we were to draw in our arrows, it's going to be up here. So we have above the line greater than, or below the line, which is less than. Okay, now what I would like to do is shade in the area in which they are going to meet. So if I'm above the line and to the left of the purple line, all of this area over here will be shaded in because the purple is about to meet with the brown. If I look to this part of the quadrant, I see that only the brown is going to be shaded, which means these would only be solutions for the brown inequality. If I shade in this quadrant down here, below the brown and to the left of the purple, that would only satisfy the solutions for the purple inequality down here. But where they meet up, the brown and the purple, where they're aiming, that's what I will need to shade in. And I hope that it doesn't get any lag here. Let's see how this goes. All right, so let's make that larger too. All the way up to the purple line, don't go over it, down to the brown line, and inside. So these are the solutions to the system of inequalities. All of that yellow and then all of the ordered pairs that are on this brown line. Okay, last part. So I'm going to take that first system where we just check the solutions, and now my job is to kind of work in reverse, and I want to come up with the system of inequalities using our variables. All right, so what would this look like in terms of a system? Let's take the purple dotted line first and create the, I guess you could call it an equation, but we're going to put in an inequality symbol here in a second. So the y-intercept is at 1, 2, positive 3. So I know that my y-intercept is at 3, and now I need to figure out what my slope is. My slope would be, which one am I doing here first? I might as well, let's do the brown one. It's sharing the same intercept. Okay, so following the brown line, I'm at positive 3, and then my slope is up 1, back 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, and that would be the slope of up 1 and left 1, which is a -1 slope. And now where did I shade? Well, if I'm following my brown line, it appears as though I'm above the brown line. Kind of think of it as a teepee or maybe a little shelter out in the forest if it's raining. If it's raining, I want to be underneath the shelter, so anything above it will get wet. So that means this is going to be greater than, and it's a darkened line, so it's equal to. So there is inequality 1, and let's finish off the system, the purple line. I'm just trying to stay consistent with the colors here. So the purple line, as I mentioned, is sharing the y-intercept. I need a slope. The slope of the line is a positive slope, and what is it? Rise 1 and run 2. Rise 1 and run 2. Okay, so we have the same rate of change of rise 1 and run to the right 2, which is 1/2. 1/2 x. Okay, now think of it in terms of the shelter. Is it raining on us? Let's see. We are going to be okay because we are below the shelter, which is underneath, and that is less than. And I'm not going to put the equal sign because it is a dotted line. So here is your system of inequalities. And then all of these shaded regions and the darkened line would be your solution, not including, very important, not including this part of the darkened line. These cannot be solutions because it is not sharing within the shaded region. All the way up to here. In your journal, please define the given terms on page 2 of the flip chart. Write a few sentences on what you've learned from this video. Write down any questions. Here's the big part. Anything confusing to you, write down the questions, bring those to class. We'll work in our groups, and we will take care of this standard. See you in class.